Insolvency resolution period refers to the period that is provided under the CIRP plan. Now, CIRP, as I told you, is the corporate insolvency resolution process. What exactly is this, right? Uh, when a company becomes insolvent and is not able to pay its debts, is not able to pay the creditors of the company, whether they are financial creditors or whether they are the operational creditors, these creditors have a right to approach the appropriate authority and make an application stating that the company must be the company should get into the CIRP simply because it's not able to pay up its debts, and it is an insolvent company. So there needs to be a resolution plan in place. The CIRP process again is a time bound process. Ideally, what happens is that once the financial creditor or the operational creditor has made an application to institute the corporate debtor as a part of the CIRP, there is a committee of creditors, which is the COC, that is constituted. These committee of creditors come together and then they decide on, the various resolution plans that are presented before it. At the time when the CIRP is initiated, uh, the corporate debtor, which is the company, has a choice of bringing in a resolution professional, right? This resolution professional could be appointed as the liquidator should the company eventually decide to go into liquidation, or the committee of creditors have an option to appoint a new resolution professional as the liquidator. Now, this entire process of trying to work around a solution for the insolvency of the company is limited to 300 days. There are recent judgments. So initially, when the code came into effect, this was 180 days, which could be extended by another 90 days. But then, for some reason or the other, none of the resolutions actually could be completed within the time, and it was noticed that time and again, most of these CIRP processes actually extended a lot beyond the 180 days plus the grace period of 90 days. So there is a Supreme Court judgment which now says that the entire CIRP process must be completed in 330 days. Now, this 330 days also includes any kind of litigation that is pending with the corporate debtor, right? So all in all, if you have to start looking at resolution options in order to turn around the company or work for something that will get the company out of insolvency. Insolvency is basically the lack of funds, right? You're not solvent, you do not have you're not it's different from a loss making company, but insolvency is basically your erosion of your complete network and your net worth, and your inability to consistently pay off your debts and your creditors, right? So if within a period of 330 days your resolution plan is not effective and you haven't reached a conclusion, then the NCLT has the right to direct the company to go into liquidation. So that is the first scenario when a liquidation is initiated. Committee of creditors decide on liquidation. What can also happen is that once an application is filed by the creditors of the company for the corporate debtor to go into the CIRP mode, the committee of creditors can come together actually and evaluate and figure out and think that, okay, there is absolutely no way that the company can turn around or become solvent again. None of the options seem viable. And on this basis, the committee of creditors itself can decide and say that the right course for the company is actually to get liquidated because there is absolutely nothing that can be done for this company. So the committee of creditors have a right to suggest liquidation to the appropriate authority, and the resolution professional who is appointed in order to take care of the CIRP process is actually duty bound to take that suggestion of the committee of creditors to the appropriate authority and tell them that this is what they have suggested. and they have asked for the company to go into liquidation. And the NCLT or the appropriate authority will look into this and pass the appropriate order directing the company to get into liquidation. The third point when a liquidation is initiated is when the corporate debtor contravenes the resolution plan. Uh, when the COC has approved of a resolution plan, when the CIRP is underway, and if the corporate debtor, which is the company, contravenes any of the provisions of the plan, uh, then the resolution professional has a right to tell the NCLT or to the appropriate authority that the process has been contravened by the corporate debtor, and this would automatically, as per the rules, make the company eligible to get liquidated. And the last option is voluntarily by a solvent company. Um, Voluntary liquidation by companies is an option when a company does not want to carry on any further business, or when the purpose of the company is met, when it seems that it does not make any sense for the company to carry on operations for a longer period of time, or it could seem that if it is a subsidiary of a foreign company, the foreign company may decide that this is not the market for us and we do not really want to continue working in a particular market or in India, then they can actually voluntarily decide to liquidate a company. Now